Video. Key and me today. Jay, not with us, dealing with the passing of his beloved mother. Jay, we're thinking about you, brother, and hope you're doing as well as possible under the circumstances. And get back here, when you can. So, Key, is Zion Williamson ever going to live up to the hype? The number one overall draft pick, who we never seen anything quite like him. Is he Charles Barkley meets Blake Griffin meets who, right? Jeff Van Gundy was on our show yesterday, and Coach had this to say, obviously now ESPN basketball analyst. Coach had this to say about the Pelicans with Zion.
If Zion Williamson is healthy and he's productive, New Orleans could win the West, I believe. I think he's that good. I think they're, with Williamson, as talented as any team in the West, and he is an impossible matchup. And I know, he's played, 29 games this year. He's played 114 games, I think, through 4 years. But I think there is hope if you're a New Orleans fan. Joel Embiid, through his first 4 years, I think played 94 games. So it doesn't look good now. It's bleak. He's always hurt. It's a big what if. Hopefully for Williamson and the Pelicans that he can get back and, have sort of a much healthier second act of his NBA career.
Now, Key, I always compare him to, look at Embiid. I've been doing that. Maybe there's hope because here's a guy that felt like you're going to throw your hands in the air. Well, the dude's just never going to be healthy. And then he turned it all around. Zion is athletically different, though. It's almost like Derrick Rose or one of these guys whose motor is so powerful that the frame can't hold up or something, right? But when you combine what you can imagine he can be, because he hit the NBA as soon as he turned pro, it was like, damn, he's a lot. So you can imagine what he could be. Plus, he's on a talented young team. Then you could imagine what they could be, as Coach does. And he thinks he can get to the finals with him. But is the idea of him more than what he actually is, do you think?
No. The only thing that he is he's injury prone. That's the only thing he is. Because when he plays, it's a different level, right? I mean, like you said, he came in and people was like, oh, my God, he's a lot to handle. Even Coach just said they might win the West if he stayed healthy and he was productive as he's been when he's been on the floor. So it's kind of like a football correlation to Lamar Jackson to me, where Lamar is hyped, but it's deserving. He's worthy of the hype. And if he could ever just stay completely healthy for 17 games and continue to take the steps that he's shown so far, the Ravens may have an opportunity to come out of the AFC. And this is the same thing with a Zion. Now you see with Lamar, there's question marks. Oh, he's missing games. They shouldn't pay him. Why would I pay a guy that stays hurt? And now this is the same conversation that you're having with Zion. Well, he made, well, can he, what is he? Is he healthy? Or could we trade him? Should we move on from him? They should get rid of him. And you know me, what if? What if you get rid of him? And what if he goes somewhere else and stays healthy like Embiid has when he's missed games early in his first 4 years? Now he's getting ready to win an MVP and possibly go and come out of the East and play in a championship. Now, what if the Sixers would have said, like they did with the kid that they moved on from in Orlando, Markelle
Fultz, yeah.
Yeah, what if they moved
also
on from him?
number one overall pick.
Also number one overall pick. What if they'd have did that to Embiid and Embiid would have wind up, I don't know, in Sacramento somewhere or whatever? So you got to be careful when you are looking at players because of their injuries early in their career, because this is not Greg Odom. This is not one of those type of deals where he never showed you anything when he was on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? So you pick Lamar Jackson. Although Lamar won an MVP, he stayed very healthy for the first 3 years of his career, right?
But I'm just talking about this past season.
Look, I can think of another player who also, not a perfect example because he was healthy his rookie season, but Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is like, oh my God, 233-pound dude who moves like Barry Sanders. Health. That a little sneeze. Health.
Yeah, but you didn't hear me.
No, good. So, I mean, you can sneeze. No big deal.
I'm got to sneeze on radio and TV.
Sneeze
Nobody
on
wants to
radio.
hear.
No one cares.
Nobody wants to hear
Listen,
that and see all the particles coming out.
Well, no, the seeing part I agree.
Yeah.
But Saquon was like, oh, my God, what's this prospect's unbelievable. Then he has this great rookie season. Unlike Zion, he stayed healthy for a whole season. But then he'd been hurt, and everyone's like, oh, the Giants should move on from him. And I remember, like what you just said, well, what if he goes somewhere else? I was like, hold on, guys. If Saquon stays healthy, you know what this dude's capable of? And he didn't really stay all the way healthy this season, but he stayed healthy enough to help the Giants, and he was the major offensive force, not only get to the playoffs, but win a playoff game. You know, like and he is a different kind of athlete. You know who Zion also reminds me of, Key? There's some guys in NBA history who are physically different from day one. There's not a lot you can do with them, and they come in different shapes and sizes, right? So two of them that jump to mind are Wilt and Shaq. You know, just they're too big, too athletic, and nothing you could do with them from day one. They were giving everyone that work. What could you do? LeBron's another guy like that. 6'8", can pass like that, so fast, can leap, the whole thing. Just physically, there's not too much you can do with him. Zion, to me, also fits into that category, even though he doesn't have the height, but he's just at his size, at his bulk, with his hops. It's like it's if he's on the floor, that's why as a rookie, I don't know what he averaged, 27 points, whatever, but it's bananas. Right from day one, you just can't do a lot with him.
The only thing that for me with him is the fact that he can't stay healthy, and by not staying healthy, you cannot evolve your game from where it is now because you're always hurt. So you can't work on the other stuff that would make you even more of a superstar in the NBA. You because you just can't. You can't work on your shooting. You can't work on certain moves. You can't work on this or that because you're always hurt. So that in itself is disappointing, and I'm sure it's disappointing for him as well.
Yeah, by the way, it's in another version of Embiid. There's more parallels. So Embiid doesn't have the fast twitchies that Zion has, but Embiid, everyone remember that series against Al Horford a couple years ago?
Too, though, Max.
What's that?
Embiid's way bigger than him.
Yeah, no, way bigger. I'm saying it's a different animal, kind of like Embiid. The parallel is great player, one of the best in the game, who was hurt so often early, people were kind of throwing up their hands. Maybe it'll never happen for him. But you just said part of the problem with Zion's, unavailability, he's not been available, is he can't develop his game. But Embiid also had sort of that, not in terms of developing his game, but I remember Al Horford just eating his lunch in the playoffs.
But eventually, though, he stayed healthy.
But my point is,
he started to develop other parts of his game.
For Embiid, it was different for me. Horford was getting him because Embiid looked to me a little overweight or maybe not in the best shape, a step slow. But that was because the injuries kept him probably from practicing into game shape the way other dudes could.
All of the above, Max. All of the above. If you are unavailable, you can't do anything.
You can't work on it. You can't even work on your conditioning the same way.
No, because you're focusing on your health. Getting healthy. You're not focusing on the little stuff. You're not focusing on this or that. You're just not. You can't do basketball acclimated things because you're in the training room all the time trying to get healthy.
Man, I just want to see what it looks like. By the way, Key, did you hear this? Fitz and Harry, the hit new show Fitz and Harry on ESPN Radio. But they came right at our necks. They came at us.
Is that the little black dude with the earrings and then the white guy with all the tattoos?
Yes.
Is that show? Oh, okay.
Yes, I see a pattern here on ESPN. Let me see. I don't have any tattoos.
Don't start.
I don't have any tattoos.
You can't get tattoos.
That's right. I don't want to be, as Larry David said, buried with the criminals and whatever. I forgot what it was.
Oh, my God.
That's what Larry David said in the Curb Your Enthusiasm. It turns out his mother had a tattoo on a certain part of her area that he didn't know about of her body, and so she couldn't be buried in the part of the cemetery that he wanted her buried in because it was against Jewish law. That's right. I can't get that.
It's the same. The guy in the movie with Eddie Murphy, the new movie that's out, he said the same thing. The grandma said, well, you can't be buried in our cemetery because he had tattoos. I get it. Don't get us in trouble, Max.
Fitz and Harry came right at us about our thoughts about the Lakers. Here it comes, the clap back. Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, ESPN Radio.
I can't help if I got sexy lips. What you
I didn't see your lips